Hello everyone, this is a Freddy here back again with another How to Play. Today we're going to how to play this game, Paula, by Jeffrey D. Ellers. And it's published by Suki Games. This version came out in 2022. The game originally came out in 2012 by Cambridge Games Factory. And in English, this is obviously decidedly not English, it's Japanese, but it's fine because the most important part, the cards, don't have any language on them. I did, however, have to print out some of the cards that we'll use for one version of the game in English. Never cut them up or anything like that. It's fine as it is, I think. I'll explain that. The game is a trick-taking game that is all about colors. And there's two ways to score the game. There is pointillism, where you will be bidding with these color chips on what colors you think you will win, or you can use the white one to bid 0. And that's pointillism, and there's also this black chip for the first player. But there's also impressionism, which is a different scoring method, which is where this comes into play, and there's different cards will be used for different player counts. Like this is only used for 3 players. This is only used for 5 players. This is all player counts. This is only 4 or 5 players. And what you'll do is you'll select a card from your hand. Everyone's going to go around the table playing cards on the ones that are, you're using for your however many players. And you put a card on there. And that'll indicate, like this one, each card matching the color on this card would be worth 1 point. And in Impressionism, you want to avoid winning points because whoever has the most points will lose. Whoever has the least amount of points would win. In Pointillism, it's whoever has the most points that wins. In Impressionism, it's the opposite. It's least amount of points. Anyways, well, I'll show you how to play the game first, and then we'll talk about scoring some more. In the game, you have 6 different colors. You have, incidentally, all 5's red, blue, and yellow. These are your primary colors. And these ones all run, I have to look it up here, from numbers 1 through 5. It is 8 of each color. And there's 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, and then 1 4 and 1 5 in each of these primary colors. But then you also have your secondary colors, such as purple, orange, and green. As for these ones, there's also 8 cards in each color, but they specifically run just 2 through 8. So you have higher numbers in these ones than you do. This is the highest number in these colors. The highest number in these is 9, 2 through 9. And you'll notice as well on these cards, in the corner here, it has different colors. These are the colors that you can use to make this color. So you can use a yellow and a red to make orange, or a red and a blue to make purple, blue and yellow to make green. And that comes into play in the game with how you do the trick taking. So let me get these cards into here and show you more about the game. And that's just what you get, is you get these chips. And there is one black poker chip here for, it's a wooden chip for the first player. And then these ones, you got 5 chips in each of these 7 colors, sorry. White, red, blue, yellow, orange, green, and purple, which is only used in pointillism. And then this is technically supposed to be there's a double-sided 8 board that's used only in Impressionism. I believe that's basically it. There's also some other cards in here like this. It would be a good reference card, but it's not English. The original version is a different artwork. Same game. Different artwork, but same game. But it's also, like, pretty hard to find. This one is pretty hard to find as well. I got it from Geek Market on Board Game Geek. Let's just talk about the trick taking first. So each player is going to get a certain number of cards depending on the player count, and you're going to be playing until a certain number of points depending on the game you're playing. So you're going to get 14 cards each in a 3-player game, 11 cards each in 4 players, and 9 cards each in 5 players. So we'll deal out 11 cards each for 4 players. And there will be some cards left over, no matter the player count, which kind of helps so that you don't have perfect information. In this case, there's 4 cards. We don't know what they are, so we can't possibly know what every other player has. So that's always cool. Now, a couple of things I will mention. In terms of scoring, for pointillism, if you're looking to see who has the most points by bidding with these, if you're doing that route, you're going to be playing until 100 points with 3 players, 70 points with 4 players, and 30 points with 5 players. However, in Impressionism, where points are bad, and you're not using this, you're using this, in that version, you're playing until 40 points with 3 players, 45 with 4 players, and 50 points with 5 players, and whoever has the least amount of points at that time wins. For pointillism, it's whoever has the most amount of points. So basically, it's kind of 2 games, 1 deck. So the way this works, no matter how you play, whatever scoring you do is 1 person, start player. I believe it says it's whoever is the last person to go to an art gallery. And the whole idea of this game is you are an apprentice painter keen to impress your mentor by creating the purest color blends, but just as you create the most perfect vivid blue, your rival sneaks in some red into it, and so forth. Both games don't use the same rules for playing. And so let's say I start and I lead with blue. Since this is a primary color, my opponent must follow with blue. If they don't have blue, they can play something else. And they can also change my color into something else if need be. So this guy, for instance, does not have blue. So he can just simply play any other card and just, slough the trick, lose. Or if he wants, and I need to double check one minor thing in terms of that. In terms of what is called smearing. Well, so basically, I can't play blue. What they can do is they can change this to a different color. They can play. So I can add yellow to this card to now make it green. So you're changing the color. And then I can now play a card. Now, unfortunately, I do have a green that's higher, so I'm going to play a 7. You always got to make this higher than, I believe, what is currently available. So now that I have changed the color to green, green is now the lead color that you must follow. So this guy will gleefully play that because he has the highest green. And then it comes to this guy. There's one more thing that needs to be said about the secondary colors, the greens, the purples, and the oranges. And that is, if you have 2 cards that are the primary colors, in this case it would be blue and yellow, then you can play both at the same time. So if I wanted to, I could play this 1 and 2. And you know what? I'm going to do that because he's going to lose the trick anyways. Might as well get rid of a couple of small cards. And so the winner in this trick is going to be whoever played the highest card of the lead suit. The lead suit was changed to green by this player, so highest card, the lead suit, is therefore green. And this guy still followed suit, even though he played 2 colors. In pointillism, the winner will simply collect one of the cards. Remember, in pointillism, you're trying to score points, and you're trying to do that by, you're going to bid with different colors, and then at the end of the game, you will score points based on what you have. So in this case, if this player bid green and yellow, or green and red, he doesn't really want to take a blue or yellow, so he's just going to take a green and put it in this score pile. If you're doing Impressionism, you're actually going to collect all the cards into your score pile, and you're going to score based on whatever was set up here. So I'll talk about that after. We'll talk about the scoring after. But that's kind of the basis of the game here. So now this guy would lead. Now if you lead with a secondary color, the secondary colors, by the way, all have black borders. The primary colors all have white borders in this version. He's going to lead with a secondary color. This player can now either follow with an orange card or with 2 cards, just like before, that make this color up. So he can follow with an orange card, or he can play orange and yellow. He doesn't have orange and yellow, so he's just going to follow with red and yellow. He's got red, but no red and yellow. Comes to me, you know what? I will play this 5 and 3. Red and yellow make up orange, so this counts as a 8 of orange. And I'm doing that to explain something else momentarily. And then this guy has orange, he has red and yellow. He could technically play a 5 and a 4 and make it a 9 and win the trick. He's not going to do it. He's just going to dump a 2. And I'm doing that so that I can explain something else. In this case, we both played 8s. So what happens if there's a tie in the values where we both played the same value? Whoever last played the value gets to choose if they win or lose the trick. Let's say I had, in this instance, bid, blue and green and purple, maybe, for my bid at the start of the game. I don't really want yellow or orange or red because that won't help me. So I could just say, you know what, you win the trick, and they get to collect the cards. And maybe they had bid white, which means it's a null bid, which means they don't want to win any tricks, and now I've just forced a trick onto them. So you have to think about all these things when you're playing. Who do you want to win this trick or not? If I didn't want to win this trick, I could have simply played, a smaller orange card, but maybe I wanted to save that for later on for whatever reason. There's different reasons why you might want to do different things, but I could say, you know what, you get the trick, and he's going to say, you know what, I don't want 8 of these cards, but I guess I'll take one if I have to. Oh, crap. As I throw everything onto the ground here. So that's kind of how the game works. You either lead with a primary color, your opponents have to play a primary color, or they can add on a second primary color to change this into another color, and then they play a card of that color that hopefully has a higher value. That's poor example, but you know what I mean. And then the next person would have to follow this. This would become the new lead color. In this case, I think that's a legal move. It's just like he's not going to be winning. If you lead or at any point in time change the color to a secondary color, a player can play 2 cards that make up that color and play that as an orange or purple or whatever. So it's a pretty cool trick-taking game. The cards, by the way, are very nice quality. Linen finish. They're not printed very centered on some of them, but it is what it is. Let's talk about the scoring. So the scoring, let's just say, everyone made some bids and won some tricks. Let's say this guy bid 0. At the end of the game, let's just say we had this. I had this. Now I want purple. Let's just say these are the cards I collected. And this guy collected, let's say he had the yellow, and he had red, and let's say he had an orange. And then this guy is looking for red and green. Let's say he had the red and green and a yellow. And then this guy, he bid 0. And let's say he did that. Let's say he bid it. Let's say he got his bid. So what happens then, you're going to look at scoring. These are going to be multipliers. If you get each of these colors, which I did, I got red, blue, and green, not red, blue, green, and purple. And I also got yellow. In this case, I would get 1 point for each of these tricks times 3. This is the multiplier. So I would get 12 points. This guy over here is a different story. He bid that he was going to win at least 1 yellow, 1 orange, and 1 blue. He got the yellow, he got the orange, he did not get a blue. So if you don't get those colors that you bid on, you get 0 points. This guy over here, he bid red and green. He got red, green, and yellow. So he's going to get 3 times 2 for 6 points because he met his bid. This guy bid 0. He bid as the null bid is what it's called. And he got 0, so he's going to get points that's going to be dependent on the player count. In this case, it is... let me just find that. No, I'm looking at it right here. I'm right in front of my face. In this case, for 4 players, he's going to get 7 points for the null bid. The more players, the less points for bidding 0, because the more players, the easier it is to do. With 5 players, it's not too difficult to not win any tricks, if you got the right cards. 3 players, however, you get 25 points for bidding 0 if you win no tricks, because it's much more difficult to do. That being said, had this player won a trick and he bid 0, he's actually going to get 0 points because he didn't make his bid. So that's a little bit of how scoring works for pointillism. Let's talk about scoring. I'll put these away for this version. And this is the impressionism. And what happens is every player is going to have cards in their hand at the start of the game, and you're going to go around the table and filling in the spots here. So let's say it starts with me, and we're doing 4 players, so we're not going to look at these ones. This one, each card matching this color on this card is going to be worth 1 point. Well, I don't have any blues, so I'm going to put blue here. And then the next player is going to look at their hand, and obviously you're going to have a lot more cards and just showing how it works. This one's the same thing. Each card on this one is going to be worth 1 point. So maybe they say, you know what, let's do yellow. And this player is going to look at their hand, and you got this one here. Each card matching the color on this card is worth the value in a number. He's going to do 2. And then this player is going to go, and it says here, for a card matching the color on this card, you get to discard 1 other card of that color of your choice from your score pile. And if you run out of those, if you don't have any of those, you actually get -1 point. So basically, this cancels a card of that color, or is a minus point. So they say, you know what? Let's just do this green, because I have a 9, and if they win a trick with this 9, which more than likely they will, they can just cancel this, and I'll explain that again in a bit. These other ones, each card matching this color. So if we had, let's say, red on here, each card matching this color would be worth 2 points. And remember, in Impressionism, you don't want to get points. And this one, each card matching this color is going to be worth 0 points. So like say we had blue on here, each blue would be worth 0 points. But we don't use this for 4 players, so I'm just going to leave them. And so the way it works is, at the end of the game, you're going to look at these. And let's say this is the cards that I won. And maybe I'll add some more to the pile here. So let's say this is the cards, the tricks that I won at the end of the game. And you're going to actually collect, again, in Impressionism. In Pointillism, you just collect 1 card. So we know what color you won. In Impressionism, this version, you're going to collect every card that went into the trick. So let's just say these are the cards I had from the tricks that I won in my hand. So the purples are not going to count for anything because they're not on there. Neither is the orange, so I did okay there. Let me just organize these a little bit. And so then, let's look at a few more things here. So, I didn't do a very good job with the green. The green, remember, I get to cancel one card that matches that color. I get to cancel, I get to discard it. If I didn't have any more, I would get nothing, but I'm going to get rid of this 9. So this lets me get rid of one card of that color. So now I'm going to have a score of 20 for green, which is not great. The blue, it says each card matching this color is worth 1 point, so that's going to be 1 point. The red, the yellow is going to be the same thing. Each card matching that is going to be worth 1 point, so 2 more points. And then the red is each card matching the color on this card is worth the card number value. So each card is going to be worth 2 points. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 29 points. And so remember, in Impressionism, with 4 players, it's 45 points. The game ends, and whoever's least amount of points wins. And I am well on my way with this scoring to 45 points. And then obviously you collect all the cards, reshuffle, redeal. Each person makes a new bid on here, and you continue playing. So it's a pretty interesting scoring system. Nice quality cards. I do wish that this was printed in English, but it's fine. I like it. It's a pretty interesting trick-taking game with all due respect, and I like it. So that is Paula. Hopefully that will make sense. I think I've covered everything. Ties, smearing, scoring. There's all sorts of other information in here, obviously, but I think that pretty much covers it. Hopefully. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, let me know. I know this video is a bit long. It is what it is. See ya.